everybody, it's Honest John. Now, even though I'm not a fan of the Tea Party, the last thing I would want is for them to be targeted by the IRS. The IRS should not be targeting any particular group, conservative or liberal. All advocacy groups should receive the same scrutiny. Some people are saying that this was a small group of agents in the Cincinnati office. But from what I gather, the Cincinnati office was in charge of all of these kind of reviews. So where the office was located is pretty much irrelevant. Now here's how the scandal works, or at least how they're saying it works. Here on YouTube, when you upload a video, most of you know that you put in keywords, and the keywords determine what related videos appear next to the video that you put up, and where you find it in searches. So with the IRS, it appears that they were using keywords to determine who would get extra scrutiny. And some of the keywords that were used were words like Tea Party and Patriot. It doesn't appear that any group was denied tax-exempt status due to this. And it may not be the scandal that everyone thinks it is. Let me point this out. In the years leading up to this, between 2008 and 2010, a whole lot of Tea Party groups were formed. And it could be that just as after a disaster, there are a lot of charities formed that turn out to be scams. It could be that the IRS was simply trying to make sure that there were not a lot of fraudulent Tea Party groups being formed. It would also be interesting to find out what other keywords were being used. It could be that there were as many keywords that would have turned up liberal groups forming PACs. So if these things turn out to be the case, then this whole big scandal is likely to turn out to be a tempest in a teapot. Sorry, I could not resist the pun. See, it's just the fact that a sudden spike or change attracts the attention of the IRS. When I left my day job to become a stand-up comic, all of a sudden I found myself being audited by the IRS several years in a row. So one time when I went in to see the IRS guy, I asked him, I said, look, I'm not making much money. What's going on? Well, it turned out that what had attracted the attention of the IRS was my sudden change in status from going to being a worker with a regular salary to being self-employed. And since I was new to being self-employed, I was making mistakes when I filled out the forms, and so the IRS kind of zeroed in on me for a few years. Since then, I've gotten better at filling out the tax forms, and they've gotten used to my status, and so I haven't gotten audited in a while. So my paranoid fantasies that the IRS was targeting me because I was making a lot of jokes about George W. Bush turned out to be just that, paranoid fantasies. And people do get paranoid about the IRS. There's no doubt about that. That being said, it is a very good idea to keep an eye on these guys. So it could be that this major scandal is just a small blip or not even a scandal at all. but that remains to be seen, and there needs to be an investigation to find out. Now, already a lot of politicians, especially Republicans, are trying to score political points on this, and it never hurts being anti-IRS if you're on the right. And of course, they're trying to connect it to Obama. However, the IRS is an independent agency, and during the time that all this stuff was going on, it was headed by Douglas Shulman, who was appointed by George W. Bush. So there's probably not much chance that he was looking to do Obama any favors. Thanks for listening.